Hi, this is Brad from Pro Wrestling Junkies, and welcome to another episode of Toilet Side Wrestling Talk. Today's guest hails from Finland and began wrestling in 2011, trained under Jessica Love and King Kong Karhula, and has worked for such promotions as FCF Wrestling, Slam Wrestling Finland, East Bay Pro Wrestling, European Professional Wrestling. Along the way, he's held the Frank Anderson Nordic Wrestling Championship, as well as the FCF Finnish Heavyweight Champion. Shared the ring with the likes of Miko Maestro, Stark Adder, Starbuck, Jessica Love, Sly Sebastian, Joey Impact, to name a few. So let's welcome today's guest, the type of dog that once chased me home from school when I was in second grade, the Finnish Doberman, Salomon Strid. Hey, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Did I screw anything up?
No, nothing. I'm pretty much available all the time.
All right. So so you're in Finland now? What city?
Helsinki, the capital.
Oh, okay. I was there for a couple hours once. What's the COVID situation there? Are you guys like on any types of lockdowns?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, we just had some new restrictions put on. Like we had to postpone the biggest show of our year again. There's no traveling outside of Finland, stuff like that, and just how do you say, minimal. How do you? What's the word I'm looking for?
Like try and interact with as little amount of people as possible.
Yeah. Social distancing. I guess we could say it as much as possible.
So I was talking to a guy from Canada the other day, and I asked him, do all children get put on skates when they're young, as you know, to play hockey? Is it like that in Finland?
Kinda. I mean, yeah. We had basically had to play ice hockey at the school gym lessons. I fucking hated it. I was never good at ice skating or anything like that. I've never been into ice hockey or pretty much any conventional sports. So the gym classes at school were kind of tooth grinding for me, you know.
Yeah. All right. Well, before I get into it and start talking about your background and stuff, who's Frank Anderson?
He's this late Swedish wrestler who actually worked for WCW back in the 90s. I can't exactly remember when it was, but yeah, he was a pro back in the day, and he did some matches in Sweden as well. Yeah, after he passed away, they named the Nordic Wrestling Championship after him.
So is that like a big honor to hold that championship?
I think so. Yes. I think it's a very prestigious title, even though it's rather young.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds. I mean, just the name of it sounds like it's a big deal. So when you were a little kid, so you weren't into like the traditional sports, soccer, hockey, or football, excuse me. But were you a wrestling fan?
Yeah, I became a wrestling fan when I was like 13 years old. That was when I first saw wrestling on TV. And before that, I was very much into martial arts. or pretty much around the same time I started doing martial arts, because when I first saw wrestling, I was just holy fuck, I don't know what the hell this is, but it's so fucking cool, and I just instantly knew that I want to do this as well. So, and I wanted to be ready.
Had you heard about wrestling prior to seeing it for the first time?
I have this vague memory of a friend of mine having these VHS tapes with some WCW stuff on them, and with these dreadful, so bad it's good kind of Finnish commentary, but I don't remember anything about them. But yeah, the first real encounter with wrestling was SmackDown, when I just happened to come across it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, this one time I was channel surfing at my dad's place.
And did you have like friends growing up who were into it, or was this just like a private thing?
Yeah. My best friend at the time was also very much into wrestling, and we would watch Raw and SmackDown together, and we would go crazy over guys like Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, John Cena, back in the ruthless aggression era.
Oh sure. Did you ever like get order like pay-per-views?
No, we had back then we had no idea those were a thing. Like they didn't run those on TV, obviously, and whenever they aired a Raw after a pay-per-view, we were like, what the fuck? Did we like miss an episode or what? I mean, it was really confusing.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So, at what point? At this point, are your parents like fine with you watching wrestling? Are you getting physical with your friend? Like, are you guys actually wrestling?
Yeah, we were. Yeah, we actually did like try the holds on each other, and obviously we had no idea it was a work, so we just stiffed each other with fucking ankle locks, figure four leg locks, sharpshooters, whatever. But yeah, I guess pretty much everybody does that at some point of their life if they're a wrestling fan.
I put a figure four leg lock on my first wife. Not that, like, nothing to hurt her. I just wanted to try it, and she was there. So, for me, like my wife, for example, doesn't want the kids watching wrestling because she's afraid they are going to start fighting and hurt each other. Did your parents or mother have any reservations about that?
Not really. They had no idea what it was all about. They were just, this is weird. But no, they never told me not to watch wrestling. They never tried to forbid it or anything.
What about, did you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have an older sister. She was never into wrestling back then. But like nowadays she will always catch a show if she can, but it's very difficult since she lives like 600 kilometers away in a different city.
Oh, okay. So do you remember like the moment that you said, you know what, I'm gonna pick up the phone or send an email and start training?
Sorry, can you say it again?
Do you remember, like, was there a moment where you said, okay, I am going to pursue this and I'm going to give whoever a call or an email to start training?
Oh, I started started getting ready when I was like 13 or 14 years old. But obviously, I started doing martial arts like Taekwondo and Jiu-Jitsu. But obviously, I had no idea how to pursue a career in wrestling because I didn't know that we had wrestling in Finland back in the day. I was back then I was still living in middle Finland in this small town called Muhos.
Okay.
And the wrestling scene was all the way in Helsinki or in the capital area. And
how far what's the distance between where you were living in Helsinki?
Like 600 kilometers, give or take.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, it's like how's a 6-hour train ride.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So did you know who to call? So you started, younger, and you were doing taekwondo, you said, and jujitsu.
Yeah.
How long were you studying those?
Altogether, maybe 4 or 5 years.
And did you discuss with the people who taught you martial arts that you wanted to become a pro wrestler?
No, for some reason I didn't talk about my ambitions that much back then. I was just really focused on training. I was actually training like 5 or 6 days a week, just taking taekwondo, jiu-jitsu lessons as much as possible. And when I moved from Muhos to Helsinki, I kept it up. I kept doing those martial arts, and then in 2006 I actually found out that there is wrestling in Finland, and I knew that now I know how to become a wrestler.
Does it feel good, like, to walking down the street knowing that you could defend yourself and probably hurt somebody? Like, is it nice to go out without having that burden of looking over your shoulder ever?
It's I guess I never really think about it that much. I mean, maybe sometimes I joke around with my mom or my friends, like, I mean, I even live in this shady part of town here in Helsinki. Like, a lot of drug addicts and the like are around here where I live. But I've never had any trouble, probably because of the way I look. I mean, I'm not some elderly woman or skinny kid they could easily take and mug or something.
So how did you find a trainer? Like, where do you look? I mean, where do you start?
It was just FCF Wrestling. That was the only promotion in town back then. And obviously I couldn't sign up for a wrestling school right away. Like, my mom was adamant that I had to finish high school and military service at first. So it took. I still had to wait a few years, and in 2011, I finally submitted my application for their training program, and I got in.
Is it required that upon graduation from high school you need to join the military?
Yeah, we have a compulsory military service. Either you do that or you do social service.
Okay. For how long?
I think both are 6 months minimum.
Okay.
I'm not sure about the social service. I don't remember exactly, but in the military you have to be at least 6 months. I was there for nine months.
Did you learn anything there that, like, you use today? Not as moves, just like about life.
Not really, but nothing like super practical. But I can say that it helped me grow a thicker skin, because especially the first couple of months were really brutal with the basic training and being in the woods in the middle of the winter. And it was absolutely freezing back then. So, but after I got through the basic training, everything felt a lot easier after that.
Did you lose a lot of weight during basic training?
Actually, no, because we have this kind of a canteen or a cafeteria. Cafeterias at our military training sites. So and they are very cheap, because obviously privates don't make a lot of money. We have we get like €6 a day during my service. So everything is really cheap at the cafeterias, and they sell these delicious donuts and whatever.
Oh wow. Okay, so like you make up for it there. The calories you lose.
Yeah, I gained like 10 kilograms during those 9 months.
Oh really?
I didn't. I never had that much energy for training back then, because all the basic training, the military training, it took a lot out of me. So it was very rare that I hit the gym or went running or anything like that.
I ask people this all the time. The night before your first day of training for professional wrestling, were you able to sleep the night before, or were you like thinking about like your first day?
I remember sleeping quite well, but like on the first day of the tryout, we had like a two-day tryout back then, and
what does that involve?
Back then it was a lot of running, how to say, muscle training. Like we went for a run, did a ton of squats and push-ups, then we tried some roll-ups, bumps. We took a couple of body slams and a couple of elbow drops, ran the ropes, stuff like that.
Did you, after this first day, did people drop out?
Yeah, a few people dropped out. Like, there was one guy who ran out of breath immediately, couldn't do a belly bump. One guy had a slight concussion, and I don't know, whatever,
Yeah. So once everything's whittled down, are there multiple people like in your training class?
Yeah, there were 4 others besides me.
Okay. Male, female.
Yeah, one female. With the rest of us were guys.
Okay. And did were the trainers, were they as tough as like your drill sergeants were?
At first, yeah. I mean, they wanted to see if we like really could make it, and if we wanted it enough. So they were kind of testing us for the first month or so. But after that, it got a little bit more relaxed than when we got into like wrestling psychology, theory, match building and stuff like that.
Is there like a component of cutting promos or your character?
Back then there wasn't that much of promo or character work.
Okay.
In the training regiment, I remember we only had like maybe 1 or 2 lessons where we really tried cutting promos and coming up with some character to work with. It was a very different time. We have like this full schedule nowadays that we go by.
And did someone tell you were ready for your first match, or did you go and tell your trainer or whoever that you were ready?
No, they always tell us when we're ready.
Okay.
My debut came as a surprise. I wasn't supposed to wrestle at the show where I debuted. But this one guy dropped out of this mixed tag team match, and they needed somebody to replace him. So the head trainer messaged me and asked me if I had like a gimmick and ring gear that I could wrestle now. Okay.
How much time notice did you get?
Maybe a month or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So leading up to it, were you like, for that month, were you preparing specifically for this match?
Yeah, we were doing drills that would like be of use to us in the actual match, and we tried coming up with some signature spots specifically for me and my partner. My partner also made her debut at that same.
Was it fun going off the top rope for the first time? Like, was that part of training?
Yeah. It was fun, and back then my mentality was a lot different. Like I was really into this stupid, spotty, super indie style, you know. So I was a lot smaller back then. I wanted to be a high flyer myself, so obviously I wanted to do like a top rope splash.
Like the guys you were saying you liked wrestling, Benoit and Eddie Guerrero, those.
Those kind of technical guys.
How long did it take until you felt comfortable in the ring, or is that still?
So I think it took me maybe like 4 or 5 years before I really started to find myself, so to speak. You know, to really find my thing that I wanna do. You know.
Do you ever think to yourself, just had like a moment like, oh my God, I'm a professional wrestler. I was watching these, when I was 12 years old on SmackDown. I'm actually a wrestler.
Sometimes. I mean, I would probably think like that a lot more if we were able to wrestle more than once a month.
Yeah. Did you have a lot of bookings canceled?
Yeah. A lot of our shows here in Finland had to be canceled because of COVID. Yeah.
Were you going to have like a heavy schedule until things went south?
Well, not really a heavy schedule. It would have been a fine Finnish schedule. You know, like a show once a month. That is basically our schedule here. I mean,
so is FCF like your home promotion?
Yes.
Okay. So have you watched your first match over? Or can you watch your matches?
I haven't been able to watch it in years. I remember watching it, the full match back when after the match, you know.
Mm-hmm.
On tape, it was horrible. Yeah.
So
let's just say it didn't all go as planned. Surprise.
Surprise. Do you how many pieces of ring attire do you own?
I have maybe three full attires that are really old that I don't even use anymore.
Okay.
Plus maybe 2 newer ones, plus the current singlet that I wrestle in.
So you're not going out and getting ring gear, regularly.
No, it's not that easy here in Finland. I mean, we know this one really good seamstress who can do really great job, but her prices are a little bit up here.
Okay.
So, it's not always affordable for guys like me.
Yeah. Do you have does like your family and friends come see you wrestle?
Yeah, as much as often as possible. My mother tries to make it to every single show.
Oh, that's awesome.
She lives here in Helsinki, and my sister, whenever she's visiting Helsinki and there's a show. Not a lot of my friends come to the shows that often. They're not exactly wrestling fans.
Oh, okay. They can't even come to support you and humor you?
Yeah, sometimes they do. They can be very busy. I mean, one of them is actually living in Spain at the moment. So.
Okay. So that makes it a little difficult to get to your matches. Do you ever wrestle outside of Finland?
Whenever it's possible, yeah. I mean, mostly I've been wrestling in Sweden especially for Stockholm wrestling, and a couple of times in Denmark, England, Germany. And I made a couple of trips in California as well.
Oh, so you have? I mean, do you fly when you're within Europe to the different places or train?
Yeah. Just the planes are only optional. Finland is basically an island. And you have to fly everywhere, and it makes it more difficult to get outside bookings. You know, the flights are obviously expensive.
What's the weather like there this time of year?
We've actually had some snowy days now.
Oh, okay.
Like this week, we actually got snow in Helsinki. Before that, it was rainy, gray, and dark.
Yeah, that's what we've had lately. Is there skiing close by?
My mom likes to go skiing sometimes. There are like these skiing tracks.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere outside of Helsinki. I don't know that much.
So, can you pinpoint a match that you could say this best represents my style, my character, all that you'd recommend to somebody that has never seen you wrestle? Do you have a specific match?
There are a couple of pretty good matches on YouTube. My match against King Kong Karhula for the FCF title, and then there's my match against Ioni. I like them both. They are very different in style. I mean, the match against Karhula is a very main eventish. You know, like very high stakes, high spots. 20 minutes.
Oh wow!
And such, and the match against Ioni is more about storytelling. Like the background story is that we were feuding, and in the middle of the feud, I break his arm, which he uses to hit his finisher with. So now he had his arm in a cast. And in that particular match, he's forbidden to use that cast.
The cast.
Yeah, and then we had to play off of that, and it was a lot of fun. It was many of our peers backstage said that it was easily one of the best matches on the card. So I'm very proud of that.
During a match like that, are you listening to the crowd as much as you're working in the ring?
Yeah. I mean, especially in that match, I found it more easy than usually. There were a lot of like quiet moments when I just let the other guy sell his arm. So and the crowd was going nuts. So it was easy to respond to them and take our time, just working them, you know.
Does it take a while from like when you first start training to be able to listen to the crowd and work Absolutely. In the ring? Is that something that you like practice?
It can't. You can't really practice that at a training hall or anything. Mm-hmm. It just comes with practice. Really,
okay.
Performing in front of crowds.
Sure. All right. I don't want to keep you much longer, only because my children need to eat, but this was more important. Can I ask you 5 random non-wrestling related questions before I let you go?
Sure.
Okay. Is there someone, now you don't have to identify a name, is there someone that you hate working with?
Yeah.
Okay. I won't make you go any further than that. For $750,000, would you give up wrestling for 3 years?
I'd say yes.
Okay. You're still young. You could still.
Yeah.
Have you ever wrecked someone else's car?
No, I don't even have a driver's license.
Oh, even better. And would you ever eat cigarette flavored ice cream?
Fuck no.
Okay.
I don't even smoke.
Okay. And the last one, can you name every opponent you've ever faced in the ring?
I like to think so. Yes.
Okay. So do you remember all your matches? Do wrestlers remember that?
Maybe not every single match. Yeah, I've had quite a few matches, a lot of matches for a Finnish wrestler. So
okay,
probably not remember every single one of them.
So do you have anything booked for 2021 yet?
Actually, we're doing this show this coming Saturday at a nightclub where there won't be any audience there, but we will be recording it and then
great.
Selling the recording.
Oh, that's great. So eventually it'll make its way to YouTube.
I don't know about that. Maybe at least at first it's gonna be it's gonna cost you something.
Yeah.
To buy the recording of it.
And when is this happening? This coming weekend?
Yeah, this Saturday.
And do you know who you're facing?
Yeah, I'll be facing one of my newest students, actually.
Oh, have you guys ever been in the ring together for a match?
No, not yet. He's only had like one singles and one Royal Rumble match.
Okay. Are you going to make him remember this match?
I'm going to give him my best.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I know it's much later there than it is here. So I really appreciate it. Hopefully I can get you back on sometime in 2021.
Yeah. Let's see.
All right. Well, take care and stay safe and healthy. And I'll keep an eye out for you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.